Boy, man, Mike here, man. Just want to make a quick video all about this Julio Jones debacle. I guess you want to say that it is kind of a distraction for fans, and not really a distraction for the fans, but just something that's irritating a lot of people, including me. I wish this would just end already. I know for the and I think I know for a fact that everything will be all right, but you know, since everyone in Atlanta wants the Falcons to be, get back to the Super Bowl, we're going to need a guy like Julio Jones. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I know you got Muhammad Sanu and Calvin Ridley, but neither one of those guys are Julio Jones. But neither one of those guys is as important as a Julio Jones is. I mean, even when you have a quarterback like Matt Ryan. So the fact of the matter is, man, we need Julio Jones and we need him to be in camp and we need him on the team. But this is not what this video is about. It's about Julio Jones and possibly adding incentives to his deal. Now, this is something that I thought that was very interesting. I think this is something that they should have thought about. If not, they could do. I know they said they're not going to negotiate any deals right now until he gets, until they finish with Grady Jarrett, Matthews, and Tevin Coleman. Those guys are probably more important as of right now. You have to get those guys in, because if you just worry about, just paying Julio his money, which he deserves, you might miss out on a lot of talent. We can't afford to have Grady Jarrett and, Tevin Coleman. I mean, we can probably get past on Tevin Coleman, but Grady Jarrett, Jake Matthews, and despite what everybody thinks of Jake Matthews, man, this guy, you don't have a lot of tackles in the league, man. You have a lot of good tackles. He's a good tackle. He's not an elite tackle, but he's a very good tackle. Ryan Schrader also, he's a very good tackle. The Falcons in this league, you don't need a lot of, elite players as offensive linemen. You just need guys who can just do the damn job. It's like Bill Belichick says all the time, just do your fucking job. And Jay Matthews he's not elite, like I said before, but he just does his job. What's up, John? But this video, what I wanted to show you guys was something that I found was interesting, and I think it's something that they should take out, is Julio Jones and incentives for touchdowns. I know a lot of people have said over and over again, Julio Jones, 88 catches, 14, 444 in passing yards, passing receiving yards, 1,400 yards, but only 3 touchdowns. So to appease the fans, I think this is something that they should really focus on. I mean, who doesn't want to see more touchdowns from Julio Jones? So this is something that I thought that was very interesting. Story from the ESPN. I can't believe they actually even call. They even, covering the Atlanta Falcons. But I guess when you're a top team in the NFL, you have to cover them. They don't want to cover us. We know ESPN. Fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. All right. But back to the matter at hand. This is an interesting story, and for the most part, here it goes. For 4 or 5 touchdowns, you're going to give him $250,000, $500,000 for 4 or 5 touchdowns. And if he goes to 6, 7 touchdowns, he get an extra $1 million. And if you go 8 touchdowns plus an extra $1.5 million. I think that's reasonable. Again, man, like I said, Julio Jones, man, the only problem that, and it's not even me. I mean, Julio Jones is so freaking valuable to this offense. You can't say that the only freaking thing that you worried about with Julio Jones is touchdowns. If you look at this logically, this defense, this offense, Julio Jones commands double teams. Julio Jones commands triple teams. Okay. So if you don't have a guy like Julio Jones, who's to say Devontae Freeman is as good? Who's to say Mohamed Sanu is as good? Who's to say Matt Ryan is as good? Okay. So the fact of the matter is, man, Matt Ryan, very good quarterback. He's done it without Julio. He's done it with Julio. So I think Matt Ryan would still be a very good quarterback with or without Julio. But with Julio Jones, this offense is pretty much centered. This offense is pretty much catered around Julio Jones. Let's not make no mistake about it. Like I said, this guy commands double teams, triple teams at time. So if you can put an incentive in there for him to make extra, $1.5 million, $1 million. I mean, that'll be excellent for him and, for the team. So, and you won't have to pay that until the end of the year. So it's not like, you're giving up or you're spending money on the salary cap at the end of the year because, like I said, it's not due to him until the end of the year. So a guy putting incentives for a guy like Julio Jones, man, I think this is something that the Falcons should, and they probably have thought about this, but I think it's a real good idea. But man, I want to know what you guys think, man. ESPN, like I said, John, man, ESPN don't really give a damn about the Atlanta Falcons, man. So I'm kind of, anytime they put anything or show anything on ESPN about the Falcons, my ears are, kind of perked up. But like I said, man, they don't really give a damn about the Atlanta Falcons. They just, they try to use every opportunity to, to diss us at all costs. But the talent is there in Sarkisian. This is another thing that I think that a lot of Atlanta Falcons fans are not really paying a lot of attention to. But Steve Sarkisian is a guy that was definitely much improved. He was much improved. I mean, I know he was a rookie, but this guy still, the Falcons were number one in third down conversions. That means in those positions, Steve Sarkisian knows how to get receivers the ball and know how to get the call plays to get the first down. That's one aspect of being a good offensive coordinator. So if he can get much better or improve with, his calling and getting deep shots and explosive plays, scoring touchdowns, Steve Sarkisian will be a very good offensive coordinator. So this year, with the help of Greg Knapp, a guy that is familiar with this game, and he was, he coached with in San Francisco in that West Coast offense. He coached with Gary Kubiak, so he knows this system. He plays. He definitely. I'm sorry, but yes, but he knows this system. He knows my computer. I have issues with my computer, but he knows this system. He knows how to get these guys involved. And like I said, I think this is one of the moves that the Falcons did in the offseason with Greg Knapp is if Steve Sarkisian struggles in any way as the offensive coordinator, we might be seeing a change in offensive coordinator in the offseason, but Steve Sarkisian play calling responsibilities may be yanked from him. I mean, they definitely might be yanked from him. So Steve Sarkisian, this is a make or break year for him because, like I said, Matt Ryan is an elite quarterback. He's a tough quarterback. He knows what he's doing. He knows the offense. He knows how to beat any type of defense. So if you have a guy like Matt Ryan, quarterback, and the talent that he have around him, there's not a lot of excuses for him. There's really not a lot of excuse for Steve Sarkisian. He has to get this shit done now. Period. Point blank. Now I'm one of those guys who was, kind of up and down, kind of middle of the pack with him. He made me sick, absolutely disgusted with a lot of play calling, and none more disgusting than that Philadelphia call. That shit was absolutely ridiculous. You have an offensive coordinator with Matt Ryan call a rollout with one. That's the best. That is the best you can call. That's the best you can come up with. A rollout with Matt Ryan. Come on, dude. Seriously. A rollout with Matt Ryan, and you cut the field off. You cut the entire field off. You didn't call a fade to Julio Jones, and you split out a freaking fullback. A fullback in Derek Coleman. It wasn't like it was Tevin Coleman. It wasn't like it was Devontae Freeman. It was Derek Coleman. That play blew my mind completely away. Horrible call. But this year, like I said, he has a lot of help. Greg Knapp is an experienced offensive coordinator. He's been in for years. Before Matt Ryan, before Dan Quinn was a coach, Greg Knapp knows what he's doing. He knows an offense. He knows how to get an offense to get players open and get players the ball. So he knows that. So he will be in Steve Sarkisian's ear to help him out in certain play calls and kind of get a feel for what defensive coordinators will be calling him. He is extremely brilliant. Like I said, I don't think a lot of Atlanta Falcons fans really know much about Greg Knapp, but he's a very good offensive coordinator. As far as Sark, King, man, look, man, I'm really trying my best. I am trying my best to be positive with Steve Sarkisian. There are a lot of ups and downs, but there are a lot of positive that has done. And like I said before, the Falcons were number one third down conversions. So you have to give that credit to Matt Ryan. You have to give that credit to, Steve Sarkisian. He knows how to get guys the ball and convert on third down. So that is something that is a plus. But like I said, when it comes down to designing explosive plays, this is something that I think he needs and has to improve on. And Greg Knapp, oh yes, Georgia boy, absolutely, he did. This is something I was saying. He knows the West Coast system. So Greg Knapp, I think he will help try to get Steve Sarkisian and understand how he can attack in the West Coast system, being that this really isn't his system. So kind of implement, trying to get him familiar and try to get the Falcons need explosive plays. And like I said, this is the reason why they went out and got Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is an explosive player. Okay, he is an explosive player. He is just like Julio. He may not be as fast. He not be, there's not many guys that are Julio Jones, but Calvin Ridley, this guy is explosive. Just look at his highlights. Just go on YouTube. You're already on YouTube. Just look at his highlights. This guy is fucking explosive. All right. And my family, most of my family, I have family that on my mother's side, they are Alabama fans, and I'm a Georgia boy, born and raised Georgia, GA all day. But Calvin Ridley, I've seen a lot of his fans, a lot of his games, and my family kind of keep me up or what type of player this guy is. But Calvin Ridley is the freaking real deal. Okay, make no mistake about it. You align him with Mohamed Sanu, a terrific second complementary player to Julio Jones, and Julio Jones, he really doesn't need any introduction. He's just Julio Jones. Everybody just, he's just Julio. But you put him with Mohamed Sanu, who is an excellent run blocker. He goes over the middle. He's an end zone target. Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, who can pretty much run every freaking route. He's explosive. You can put him in return. You can put it, in a slot. This guy can do everything. So he's going to be one of those X factors in this Falcons offense that they're going to have a lot of problems trying to match up with. You have to match up with Julio. You have to match up with Calvin Ridley. You can't leave a third corner or fourth corner on a guy like Calvin Ridley. And if you do, they're going to be even more problems. So this Falcons offense, I'm not saying this just because this is the home team. This is a problem for the NFL. If these guys get everything going on offense, this team can be absolutely scary. It really can. This team can be absolutely scary. And I'm like I said, I'm not just saying it because this is a home team. You just look at this roster from top to bottom. Who wouldn't want to? I mean, you look at the New England Patriots. Rumor has it that they was going after Calvin Ridley in the draft if the Falcons didn't take him. So, like I said before, Calvin Ridley could be is the X factor, okay, on this Falcons team. But exactly, King. That's something. Like I said before, this is an X factor. Calvin Ridley is the X factor, and you cannot. And I want to reiterate this: you cannot underestimate Austin Hooper. I know he had a couple of games last year where he dropped a lot of passes. But if you have Calvin Ridley in the middle, in the slot, along with Austin Hooper, who is an exceptional athlete, make no mistake about it, this guy can run. We saw the touchdown last year when he was wide open and he was in an open field and he just stiff-armed the guy. I mean, he pretty much just Gronkowski, the dude, just knocked him straight on his ass. So this is a guy like Austin Hooper in the middle. The Falcons could be a very, very extremely dangerous offense. So, man, I'm so excited, man. I really am excited. I think everything will go well with Julio. I'm not worried about it, man. Julio, for the most part, he's been a guy that, when he says something, he mean it. And he says everything is okay, so I'm going to take it, I'm going to take him for his word. But Houston, that's another one, King. That's a great one. Eric Saubert, I think that guy, if he can continue to work on his pass blocking, he's an excellent number 2 receiver as far as receiving is concerned. He has excellent hands, athletic. But if you put him, like I said, this Falcons offense, they're very underrated. I don't think a lot of people are sleeping. Yeah, they are definitely sleeping on Austin Hooper. Falcons offense is really dangerous, man. As I read you guys' comments, the defensive line, King, that defensive line, I don't know why a lot of people are sleeping on them. They're looking at the Rams defense. You're looking at the Eagles defensive line. You're looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive line. But this Falcons defensive line is deep. I mean, they are really deep. These guys you already have a guy like Vic Beasley, and make no mistake about it. This guy is an elite pass rusher. This guy is quick as hell off that snap. Okay, there's not a lot of left tackles that could, handle Vic Beasley one-on-one. But you put him against right tackles, who are particularly the second best pass rusher, pass protector on the offensive line. You put Vic Beasley against those guys. That's a major problem. And you don't want Takk McKinley, okay? Takk McKinley will be a Pro Bowler. In the next 2 years, I promise you, Takk McKinley will be a Pro Bowler. This guy is physical as hell, bro. This guy is physical as hell. He is exciting. He is enthusiastic. When this guy, I mean, he's the one of those guys on the defense. He make a simple tackle. He's dancing. He's talking crap. I mean, he's a damn nightmare for any offensive line. He can play on either side, so you can do a lot of matchups with just Vic Beasley and Takk McKinley. Those guys can rotate. Vic Beasley can play on the right side and the left side, and so can Takk McKinley. So there's so many things you can do with this defensive line. And I haven't even brought up Grady Jarrett. I haven't brought up Grady Jarrett. This guy's a damn problem. Make no mistake about it. Grady Jarrett is a fucking problem. This guy is son of Jesse Tuggle. So we know he has the heart. We know he has the relentless that go get it attitude, just like Jesse Tuggle used to have. Grady Jarrett is always going 100 miles an hour all the time. And you have a guy like that in the middle. And the only thing that gives quarterbacks nightmares is pressure up the middle. And if Grady Jarrett continues to be dominant and getting pressure in the backfield, oh, it's going to be a nightmare for quarterbacks. That's going to make it even better for guys like Takk McKinley and Vic Beasley. Have more one-on-one opportunities. You give Vic Beasley a one-on-one opportunity against the right tackle, yeah, he's going to have a 5-sack game, okay? You don't leave Vic Beasley one-on-one with too many right tackles in the league. That's just shit. That you just don't do that. And you add Takk McKinley, who is physical, a lot stronger than Vic Beasley, who can definitely overpower a lot of offensive tackles. Yeah, this Falcons defensive line is a problem, man. Snot is another guy who is, they are saying, and one of the reasons why he took Snot in the third round, yes, it was the third round, because he reminded him of Grady Jarrett. Fast, physical. Those guys pretty much have the same exact build. And if the Falcons get anything out of Terrell McClain, anything out of Jack Crawford, this defensive line can be an absolute problem. So this Falcons defense, and I saw an article that was pretty much said that the Falcons was favorites to win the Super Bowl. I'm trying my best to be objective, kind of unbiased. I will say this. If this Falcons defense is ranked top 5, if this defense is ranked in the top 5, I promise you the Falcons will be in the Super Bowl. There's no doubt in my mind. Because the offense is too talented. And if you have a top 5 defense, the Falcons will be in the Super Bowl. Like I said, I fully expect the Falcons to come out in the opening game to show the Eagles and show the world what we are capable of. But I want to see the defense. I'm not concerned about the offense whatsoever. They're going to put up numbers. I want to see the defense. I want to see special teams improve. Those are the two parts of a team that are more important than the offense of us returning to the Super Bowl. And you have, look, that's another thing. This defense is loaded. Like you guys said, Oliver, you have Deion Jones, and you have a guy that is probably the glue to this defense. And I don't know a lot of people pay attention to this guy, but Devondre Campbell, that dude is a beast. He can do anything and everything. He can cover. He's a hell of an athlete. He is a good run stuffer. He can blitz. He can rush the passer. This guy, I mean, he can do everything. Anything Dan Quinn wants him to do, that Devondre Campbell can do it. And then you have a guy like Deion Jones, who is the best cover linebacker in the league. This defense can be absolutely incredible. This defense can be absolutely incredible. And for Sade, I don't know. Olakun, I just call him Olakun. I don't know how the hell you say his name. But Foye, you have Duke. Those guys will most likely impact. I have a lot of impact in special teams. I think Duke Riley, if that's another guy, Duke has a lot of potential, incredibly, insanely athletic. So if those guys, we get anything out of Duke Riley, this defense, man, like I said, this defense can be absolutely scary. But the linebacker, yes, John, the Falcons linebacker core is so athletic. Foye and minicamp, he was one of the guys that stood out because he had a couple of, he definitely had a couple of interceptions in minicamp. Okay, so Foye could possibly be one of those guys like a Grady Jarrett that Dan Quinn just finds in late in the draft and he becomes a star. So this is not out of the picture. This is definitely not, out of the question that, Foye could be he could possibly come and take Duke Riley's spot. That guy's that athletic. I saw the highlights of Foye. This guy is a baller. He is fast. So, man, like I said, Ken, you're not the only one that's getting excited, man. I really believe in this defense. I'm more excited about the defense more so the offense. Offense is going to be the offense. I think we can, even in the down year, the Falcons average 22.1 points a game, and that was, that's average. But for us, for the last couple of years, we've been, close to 30 points a game. So that's not too bad. But if this defense, like I said, if this defense is top 5 and continue to have high sack numbers, but most importantly for this defense, is interceptions. We need to get more interceptions from Rico Allen. We need Keanu Neal. I'm not really worried about Keanu Neal. That dude just does not have it. He does not have the hands. If he get 2 interceptions, I'm happy. If he get 1, I'm happy. But I just want him to continue to knock the hell out of people. Be that physical dominator in the middle that every team needs. More want Rico Allen. He needs to have more turnovers. Okay, this defense is catered to having a free safety who can roam around, and there's no excuse for Rico Allen to not have no less than 4 interceptions. He has to have 4 interceptions in this defense because he is the guy that is, in the middle, watching everything. And the Falcons defense, they kind of play that prevent, that cover 3 defense. They try to keep everything in front of him. So Rico Allen, if he can read and react, improve his read and react skills, his ball hawking skills, this Falcons defense could be absolutely a problem. And DeMonte Casey, Poole, those guys are crazy athletic. Poole is athletic, doesn't really he's not really a cover guy, but is someone that you definitely need in case some injuries go down. But you have, oh my gosh, man, Casey, like I said, Casey is a guy that I'm high on. I think he can definitely, if they don't come up with a deal with to bring back Allen, I think Casey is another guy, and Poole is another guy that they can possibly, groom to be that free safety. So, man, the Falcons are so damn deep. It's this defense and this team in its entirety, they are incredibly deep. From almost every major position, these guys are deep. But if they get more, you get more interceptions. Another thing that I was surprised last year, I mean, I know he had a couple of, picks that were called back last year, but I was I was surprised that Robert Alford only had one interception. I mean, we're talking about the Desmond Trufant not being a ball hawk, but I was really surprised to see Robert Alford, even though he improved his coverage and cut down a lot of his penalties. He didn't have a lot of interceptions last year. So the Falcons, their corners have to do better with catching the ball and getting interceptions. So I'm very disappointed in the secondary as far as those guys being creating turnovers. But Jay Kirk, Ben Kirk, I I think he can definitely be the third. I think he can definitely be the third one. Um, Early in mini camp, I didn't like what I mean, he was kind of. I expect that. I expect him to struggle against, learning a new system and all that. But this is still mini camp. He threw a couple of interceptions here and there, but being a third quarterback, he's not looking for him to be a starter or anything like that, even to be a backup. So I think he will be the third starter. Um, I want to see what he can bring in training camp and in um, when training camp begins, and see what he can do in preseason. So live games, a lot of times people don't practice as well, but when you put them in the game, they're completely different animals. So Kurt Ben Kirk is a guy that I'm keeping my eye on. Running back Ito Smith, and this is huge. He's huge for the Falcons. If Ito Smith is anything close to Tevin Coleman and anything close to Devontae Freeman as far as being a receiver out of the backfield, and can make some explosive plays. I'm keeping I'm keeping a close eye on Ito Smith and Kurt Ben Kirk. On wide receivers, I mean, it'll be cliche for me to say Julio, Calvin Ridley, and Muhammad Sanu, but one guy that I'm keeping my eye on as a receiver is Justin Hardy. This is his last year. He needs to show out. He needs to show up. He needs to do something. He's been lost in the shuffle for the last couple years or so. You got Turbo came and took his spot, and a lot of people, came in and kind of overshadowed Justin Hardy. So he's another guy that I'm keeping my eye on. I'm looking for him to make a drastic, or not a drastic improvement. I just want to see him show up, because, like I said, this is the last year for a lot of Falcons receivers. We talking about this could very well be the last year for Muhammad Sanu, because in his contract, this is one of those contracts. This is one of the years that the Falcons could save a lot of money, up to 4.6 million and $6 million on the next year or two if they decide to cut Muhammad Sanu. So Muhammad Sanu is not out of the question. Justin Hardy, he is most likely gone. And Julio wants an updated contract. So I've seen a lot of highlights of Ito Smith, a guy that I think could be a problem for a lot of teams if Coleman goes down, if Freeman go down, he can come in, play more of a receiving back, because he's definitely athletic. But yes, I think so, man. Irv, Falcons have to play Grady, Dion. You have Vic, then you have Keanu, and someone else. I believe it's someone else, but I'm going blank with that. But those guys, the Falcons have a lot of players that they have to play, have to pay before they. I wouldn't say pay before they get Julio, but they need to at least give Julio one more good deal and just good faith, because, like I said, this guy's been the best receiver and player that we've ever had since Deion Sanders. There's no doubt about it. Even better than Michael Vick. Okay, Michael Vick was all good, but he was just an electric runner. It wasn't a complete quarterback. I mean, the Falcons didn't have a lot of winning season under Michael Vick. He was just a guy that provided a lot of highlights. So Julio Jones is a guy that, that I said you have to take care of him in good faith, because you don't want players to assume when you play your ass off and you ask for more money that teams are going to just say, you know what, fuck you, you 30 years old, we're going to get rid of you. I mean, that's not something that you want. And I don't think Dan Quinn and Arthur Blank, that those guys stand, or, I really think they stand in good faith, and, they really believe what they, believe when it comes down to being a brotherhood and everyone being on one accord. So, Jake Matthews is definitely going to get paid. Like I said, he's underrated as a pass. He's a good pass protector, but he is extremely good. He is elite in run blocking. He is an elite run blocking left tackle. You don't have to be excellent at everything, but when you see this guy in the open field, and you've seen it over and over again, there's a highlight that I had on my Twitter account, Mad Mike Sports. So if you guys want to check that out, plug Mad Mike Sports at Twitter, check that out. But I have a video that when he is out in the open field, Jake Matthews is special. This guy can run. He's like 320 pounds, and he can run his ass off. He is extremely athletic. So Falcons fans, man, this guy, you looking for a guy that, looking for left tackles. I mean, left tackles just don't grow on trees. They really don't. You're still looking for guys. You're still looking for the next Orlando Pace. I mean, you're still looking for guys. You still haven't found a guy in the NFL that is good. You have a guy, Tyron Thomas, but he's been injured. The Cowboys, Tyron Thomas, Tyron Smith, or whatever the hell his name is. But he's a guy that is elite, but there's not a lot elite. There really isn't a lot of elite left tackles or tackles in the game. So when you got a guy like, you have a guy like Jake Matthews, and he align him with Alex Mack, Ryan Schrader, who is a very solid tackle himself. The Falcons have to keep that offensive line, the players, you have to keep those players intact, man. This Falcons offensive line is probably they're definitely in the top 3 for me. As much as I don't like to admit this, the Cowboys, they have an elite offensive line when they're healthy. But yeah, man, what's good? I don't know why I love this name, man. Laffy Taffy Lover. All right. Every time I see that shit, I just laugh. But yeah. But Coleman, Rico, I'm not sure that Rico Allen would be with the Atlanta Falcons, man. I just don't think Rico Allen, I don't know if they can pay him a lot of money past 2 years. So I'm thinking in my head, if the Falcons, if they re-sign him, which I'm thinking that they may, but then again, they may not, because they offered him a tender. They didn't offer him a contract. They offered him a tender. So I'm not sure what will happen with Rico Allen. The Falcons just have so many players that you have to pay. And as far as Matt Ryan is $100 million, I mean, you can't fault Matt Ryan for that. He got what he was. The market say he was worth. I mean, if you have Jimmy Garoppolo, that piece of crap, who hasn't played the entire year. Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't played the entire year. Okay, $137 million contract for a guy who hasn't played a damn season, an entire season. You getting him that much money off of potential? Why the hell Matt Ryan can't get $100 million? And he's been consistent for over 10 years. I mean, his first pass from the as an Atlanta Falcons was a touchdown to Michael Jenkins. I still remember that shit. So why can't Matt Ryan have 100 million? There's no reason for that. The cap and the pay scale for these players are all over the damn place. Oh yes, the salary cap is definitely going up every single year. Every single year is going up. So, and the collective bargaining agreement, it'll be up in a couple of years. Well, this year I believe at the end of this season. So they'll be going back to the table. So guys like Julio Jones are probably just trying to get their money because they know there's a strike, there's a holdout that could be coming. And this is why the NFL and Roger Goodell, all of a sudden, those guys reneged on their anthem policy. It's like, oh, no, we don't want to do that anymore. That's because the NFL players filed a grievance that these guys, they want to take these guys, back to the negotiating table. So this is a problem for the NFL, man. It really is a problem. It's a problem for the NFL. It really is a problem for these guys. So, man, Tom Brady. Fuck Tom Brady. The hell with him. But yes, quarterbacks, the pay system, it all goes. But the quarterback system, the pay grade and everything is, it's really is, and I don't know if I would change it. I have a problem with it to a certain degree. I have a problem with the pay grade with a certain degree, but and I know as the quarterback position is probably the most important position outside of head coach and your coordinators, offensive line, defensive line, corners. These guys get paid big money because they play in high demanding positions. So I understand why quarterbacks get so much money, but the just a lot of these players, you still looking at guys like Le'Veon Bell, who is just acting, which I think he's a little tripping, but he's definitely tripping. But Le'Veon Bell has been trying to get a new contract for the last 3 years. He's still not getting. And guys like Matt Ryan and all these quarterbacks, these guys get 100 and like $200-300, 100 nearly $200 million thrown at them with no problem. And guys like Julio Jones, these guys have to fight just to get an upgraded contract. So I have a huge problem with that, but at the same time I have no problem because quarterback position is a really demanding position, and you need to do something. You really have to take care of those guys, man. You really have to take care of those guys because you don't have a good quarterback. And I mean, if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, we've been looking for a good quarterback for for a long time, for 40 years before we even got a Michael Vick, before we got a quarterback in Chris Chandler or Matt Ryan. It's been years, it's been decades before I was damn born. We were looking for quarterback. So quarterback position is a high demanding position, but like I said before, man, I think you should give a lot of these players more guaranteed money. They definitely deserve more guaranteed money. Yes, but at the same time, I believe Irv, cap space will only screw you if you don't recruit well and you don't draft well. So that really, the cap space is only a problem to guys who don't develop the team well. So you look at and I say this all the time. I mean, we can talk shit about New England all we want, but those guys, they draft well and they don't spend a lot of money. They lose a lot of players, but if you draft well, like the Falcons have done, we get let go. We let go. John Abraham and a lot of cornerbacks and players, and we drafted well. If you draft well, you can let a lot of guys go. I mean, look at this. We signed Dontari Poe last year. That was a big signing for the Falcons. You let him go because you drafted well. You have to draft well. I mean, cap space is only as negative if you don't. It's only negative if you don't draft well, man. Like I said, man. Yeah, Thomas Dimitrov, that guy's a genius when it comes to that draft. The cap space. I mean, he is brilliant. This is one thing that I can't deny. He hasn't always been, wise as far as draft picks are concerned. He definitely needs help. But when it comes down to, when it comes down to that salary cap, yeah, we always, this is probably the only season, because we have so many players, that we've had cap problems. And it's not so much a cap problem because you have guys like, Tyson Jackson. His contract is still on it. A couple of, minor cap casualties that are, kind of hurting us right now. But for the most part, when you have a lot of players like the Falcons do, man, the Falcons, they definitely will have cap problems. Every contending team will have cap problems. But the Falcons, if you look at the Falcons, that's a good point. That's a good point. The Falcons have a lot of undrafted players. They scout well. They definitely scout well. You look at Ben Garland. No, Ben Garland. I believe Ben Garland was, if I'm not mistaken, I think Ben Garland was drafted. But you look at Ryan Schrader, he's a starting right tackle. You got Brian Poole. A lot of guys on the line of these guys. Rico Allen, a guy that was on the practice squad. You drafted well with him. You found Brian Poole, who was, a very solid player for us. Very solid player. Grady Jarrett. Nobody really wanted Grady Jarrett. Falcons found him, made him a Pro Bowler. My eyes, I mean, he will be there. Grady Jarrett, like I said, he's an elite defensive tackle. I really, the NFC is definitely loaded with defensive tackle, but I really think Grady Jarrett is an elite defensive tackle. But yeah, man, a lot of players for the Falcons, man. I mean, you look at Devontae Freeman. Falcons didn't get him high in the draft. I mean, he wasn't a player. He was one of those guys that they said he was too small. Warwick Dunn the same way. They said he was too freaking small to play running back. So the Falcons, they are very good at finding players to continue to build, to their roster. So if you don't draft well, hell with the salary cap. I mean, Grady Jarrett, you can't underestimate a guy getting 3 sacks in a Super Bowl. I mean, really. 3 sacks in a Super Bowl. And had Kyle stupid Shanahan, if that idiot would have just ran the ball 3 times, we're looking at a Super Bowl. And we're looking at Grady Jarrett possibly being the MVP. Because that guy was fucking balling, all right? That guy was balling. 3 sacks for a defensive tackle. Yeah. That dude is a monster, man. Yeah, it still hurts. I have yet to watch the Super Bowl replay. I just don't know if I ever. Only time I would watch the Super Bowl replay is if we win one. That's the only way. I just can't. I can't do it. I've never been so damn sad in my damn life. That shit. Oh my god, man. That shit ripped my heart right out of my damn chest. You saw the tears on Robert Alford's face, like we was right there. You see him. You see Desmond Trufant picking him up off the ground, walking him to the locker room. Man, tears in his eyes. Man, you talking about somebody who was hurt, man? Shit, man. Whew. That shit still hurt like hell, boy. Like we got clown for you. We still, man. That's not as bad as it was before. But we got clown that entire month, off season. They clown our ass bad. But like I said, man, even though we lost, I'm proud of my boys because we not even supposed to be there. We wasn't even supposed. They had the Falcons picked 5-11 in that year. 5-11. ESPN picked the Atlanta Falcons to be 5-11 that year. And these guys make it to the Super Bowl with rookies, with a defense for the rookies and first and second year players. That is unprecedented. That is never, it really has never been a coach to do that with a defense, with a young ass defense. Yeah, we have a troll on this damn channel. I mean, I don't really pay no much attention. Everybody, you pretty much have free reign on my channel without being, overbearing and, racist and doing stupid crap like that. I mean, I have no problem with the 28-3. That shit, that don't fade me anymore. But yeah, man, I don't. But nobody had the Falcons. Nobody, okay? Nobody had the Falcons. I didn't think that we would make it to the Super Bowl. I'm just going to be real. Because we had a defense that was young. I knew the offense was capable of, I knew that they was capable of making a run if the offense got hot. Matt Ryan has done it before. We didn't have a strong offense. We didn't have a strong defense in 2002, and the offense pretty much carried us to the NFC Championship game. But again, we didn't have a good defense. Johnny Abraham got hurt in the last game of the season. I don't know why the hell he was still in the game. Dumbass Mike Smith. But the Falcons didn't have a good defense this year. So that year, in 2016, I damn sure didn't think that we would make it to the Super Bowl. Granted that we had, Vic Beasley, he had a big year, but for the most part, man, Dan Quinn, he was a lot of coaches, a lot of his peers told him not. They have to have veteran players on that team, and Dan Quinn said no. I believe in these guys, and we're gonna play good, and we're definitely gonna make a run. If he coached those guys up, those rookies, man, like I said, this defense has the potential to be top 5, top 3 easily. They are that deep. They are that talented. And you have a defensive coordinator who I really like, in Marco Emmanuel. You have a guy, Dan Quinn, who knows every aspect of defense. This Falcons defense can be absolutely a problem. This Falcons team can be a problem. So, as far as that article that was stating the Falcons had the best chance of making to the Super Bowl, I mean, I really don't. I don't disagree with it. I really don't disagree with it. This Falcons defense, this Falcons team can be an absolute problem, man. Yeah, I think this was the perfect scheme for Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett is a guy who was always at the attack, and he needed to be in a scheme where he is primarily a pass rusher, like he was in at Clemson. He and Vic Beasley, they played side by side and they fed off each other. I still think that chemistry is still there. And Dan Quinn, like I said, when he sees something in a player, he goes hard, bro. Dan Quinn is a defensive genius. Ain't no doubt about it. I tell people this all the time. You look at the evidence. What happened to that Seattle defense after Dan Quinn left? They've been down spiraling ever since. Ever since Dan Quinn left, that Seattle defense has been on the decline. Don't believe it? Go look up Richard Sherman quotes about Dan Quinn. He said this defense is going to miss him. He said that immediately after he left, after he was hired by the Atlanta Falcons. This is what Richard Sherman said. So, look at these guys. Cam Newton, they still trying to replace Cam Newton. They still trying to replace Richard Sherman. They still trying to replace Michael Bennett. A lot of those guys on the defense. They still have good linebackers, but like I said, a lot of those linebackers with Dan Quinn. A lot of those linebackers with Dan Quinn. A lot of those players Dan Quinn developed. But interesting. Oh man, John Crowder, Irv. Yeah, this is probably a 3 to 4. I give it a 3-year window for the Falcons to win a championship. They have to. Ain't no doubt about it. They have to at least get back to the Super Bowl. This is definitely a 3-year. This is definitely a 3-year window for the Falcons to win a Super Bowl. I think they'll most definitely get back to a Super Bowl, but this is probably a 3-year window because Matt Ryan is not getting any younger. Julio's not getting any younger. But, yeah, this is a 3-year window for Atlanta Falcons because I don't think you can continue to pay Julio and Matt Ryan as much money without having to build over. But this defense is already constructed to last years. So maybe you don't need, those guys, Julio Jones and Matt Ryan past 3 to 4 years. Matt Ryan says he wants to play until he's 40, but I don't. If his play declines, especially with the pay that quarterbacks are receiving these days, I don't see Matt Ryan staying past 4 years or so. They have to right now. They have to make a run. So this is open, man. Earl Thomas, get back to what we were saying with the Seattle Seahawks team. Earl Thomas, another guy that is gone. That defense hasn't been the same. They're still trying to rebuild that defense. Yeah, we'll still have to see what Shane Harlow can bring. I think this is this year. Ben Garland will be a free agent after 2019 season. Andy Levine will be a free agent. So Wes Schweitzer, he has to step up this year. Sean Harlow, he has to step up and see what he can do, what he can bring to the table. But yes, this Falcons. They really have a lot of open spots in their offensive line. And we don't know how long Alex Mack is going to continue to play at his level. I still think he has a lot left. Guy's just a freak of nature. But like I said before, you look at yeah, garbage. Yeah, but you look at this Falcons offense, man. Man, I still think, I really do. I really think, and maybe I'm just being too naive. I just like Wes Schweitzer for whatever reason, man. I think he has something But last year he was just getting dominated. He was being dominated by every damn body. I mean, Akeem Hicks, that first game with the against the Bears. Oh my gosh, he was getting his ass wiped, and we're not even gonna mention what the hell Aaron Donald did to him. I mean, he was just Aaron Donald was a one man wrecking crew. He was killing the entire offense. So, like I said, man, this Falcons defense, I am more excited about the defense than any part of this team. This team can be absolutely special if the Falcons team defense is ranked in the top in scoring and turnovers. Have to be in top 5 in turnovers to make it to the Super Bowl. They have to improve in turnovers. Even last year, these guys were ranking the top 10, 7th overall, if I'm not mistaken. They ranked 7th overall last year without a lot of turnovers. We didn't have a lot of turnovers on defense, so you get a lot of turnovers, man. This like I said before, man, this team could be absolutely scary. But what's up, David? What's up, David, man? Yeah, man, we've been going. Yeah, Falcons fan, man. I'm just excited. I'm so freaking excited for this season. I really am. I'm so excited for this season, man. I can't wait. I just want to see a lot of the younger guys, man. I can't wait to see Takk McKinley in his full season as the starter. That is what I'm so excited about. I can't wait to see him. Takk McKinley. Want to see what Isaiah Oliver can bring on the defensive end. I want to see with Duke Riley. I think he's one of those guys that can be an X factor. I think he can do a number of things, play special teams, and like I said, we don't pay attention to special teams until somebody running back a damn touchdown on us. So special team is going to be huge. Matt Bosher, I think last year he was definitely injured. Want to see him get back to what he's capable of. I didn't think he had a good year. He played injured a couple of times. So Mike Bosher, Duke Riley, Isaiah Oliver, Takk on the defensive side, special teams. Offensively, Ito Smith. I want to see what Ito Smith can bring. Austin Hooper, Brandon Fusco, another guy that he brought in to be most likely be the right guard, playing alongside Ryan Schrader. Tight end that I want to keep a close eye on is Eric Saubert, Ito Smith, and I don't know who. I really want to know who the fullback will be for the Falcons. That's something. I know they signed a couple, at least 3 fullbacks, but that's definitely something that the Falcons should get back to, and that's using the fullback, because we lost Patrick DeMarco, kind of lost that element of the offense where you have to pay attention to, like Patrick DeMarco, but he was asking for too much money, and there ain't no way in hell I'm going to get a fullback $4 or $5 million. I mean, no, this is not happening. It's just not. That's just too much money to be handling a fullback. But the Falcons can get back to using the fullback. That'd be excellent. That'd definitely be something. Another added dimension. What I think, one thing that a lot of people didn't pay a lot of attention to and give Steve Sarkisian credit, that he utilized the fullback, and not a lot of offensive coordinators utilized the fullbacks as they once did, and that's an element of offenses today that are definitely missing. And the Falcons are bringing that back. I thought the Dallas Cowboys with their offensive line, I think they do an excellent job of using the fullback. You have Zeke Elliott, that running game, their offense. You have to, utilize those, the fullbacks and linebackers, not linebackers, outside of the backfield. Ito Smith, Russell Gage. Yeah, I want to see what Marvin Hall. This is a make or break year for him. Also, Marvin Hall. Don't think Reggie Davis will be here. He'll most likely be cut. I mean, you just can't trust that guy's hands. He's fast as hell, but you can't trust his hands. I mean, I haven't trusted him since he was in Georgia. At Georgia with his, yeah. I just want to get in, get in. I definitely don't want to get in it with Reggie Davis, but I like Marvin Hall. If he can hold on to the ball, I think that'll be something. That'll be good for the Falcons. But Russell Gage is another guy. I don't know what he can bring offensively, but he's a terrific special teams player, returner, and he definitely is a one of those guys, a gunner. Definitely is a gunner, a special team gunner, one that you can count on to make tackles. Like a Eric Weems. I think we're missing, still trying to fill the void of Eric Weems. I mean, like I said, Eric Weems wasn't always, that fast or elite when he got older. But you definitely need guys like a Russell Gage and Eric Weems to, fill in those special teams holes. But like I said, I really think. Oh yes, absolutely, Irv. I think that Sark. He definitely impressed me. He impressed me with a lot of things. He brought back the I formation. That's something that the Falcons didn't use a lot last year. Pro set where you have two running backs, Tevin Coleman, and you have Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman in the backfield at the same time. So you can definitely. I saw a lot of things, and he used a lot of two tight end sets. That's something that the Falcons got away from. Kyle Shanahan, those didn't use a lot of two. He really didn't use a lot of two tight end sets. I mean, outside of running the ball. So one thing about Steve Sarkisian, he likes to use two tight end sets. So a guy like Levine Toilolo, who can't catch, wasn't really up his alley, and he couldn't call certain plays. So, the Falcons' offense, they're much, much deeper than they last have been. Even in the 2016 season, this offense is much, much deeper than what they were before. Devin Fuller was released. Fuller is definitely gone. I think Brooks will. I think he has 2 years left on this deal. I don't know if this will. It most likely be Brooks' last year as the Falcon. But Crawford, Shelby, like I said, this Falcons team is so freaking deep. I think Thomas Dimitrov has done a great job. He and Dan Quinn have done a great job of just continue to build and add players to the team. So, at some point you have to give this guy credit. Despite how it started early with Thomas Dimitrov, this guy has been consistent. He's excellent, one of the best with the salary cap. And like I said before, he is excellent when it comes down to salary cap and excellent with offensive talent. Not so much offensive lineman. I wouldn't trust him with offensive line. I think he's very good with finding receivers, finding running backs, and and doing. I think he's a pretty good with quarterbacks also. I mean, we haven't had to really focused on quarterback for a long time, and thank God for that. But I think he does a great job with bringing in, quarterbacks and, bringing in coaching staff. The coaching staff, that's just something else that is that is something else that the Falcons, that you don't pay a lot of attention to. Have to have a strong coaching staff, and that's something that the New England Patriots, they know all too well. They have the best coaching staff in the league. Those guys coach every damn body up. They got coaches from, 90 years old, 80 years old on their coaching staff because it's freaking brilliant. I mean, they do cheat, but they still have a pretty good. They still have a pretty good offensive coaching staff. You have McClain, but that's Irv. That's definitely Dan Quinn's philosophy. They don't want to overpay for any free agent. They want to build through the draft, get a player or two here and there. What's good, David? David in Atlanta. Y'all go check out his YouTube channel, man. Anybody got a channel out there, man? I said, I love to collaborate with one of you guys, do a video or whatnot. But yeah, I knew that was coming. That's something I don't agree with. I agree with it to a certain degree, but I don't. Julio is being Julio. Like I said, when you have a guy that is making $10 million and you have Sammy fucking Watkins, what the hell has Watkins done to deserve $16 million a year? He's Sammy Watkins. Come on, bro. Get the hell out of here with that. Don't tell me Julio is being unreasonable. Julio is not being unreasonable when a damn guy like Sammy fucking Watkins is making $16 million a damn year. Come on, man. No. I may not agree with what he's doing and when he's doing it, but what Julio is doing is trying to get paid. Because right now he's still putting up numbers. Can't deny he's still not putting up numbers. And I already hear you guys say, oh, he only scored 3 touchdowns. But this Falcons offense benefit greatly just off the presence of Julio Jones. He opens up so many holes for a guy like Devontae Freeman, a guy like Calvin Ridley, who will benefit from Julio being single coverage. You can split guys out. Austin Hooper will have much more one-on-one opportunities. So this Falcons offense, when you look at Julio and you take Julio off this team, I'm not sure if we the same offense. In fact, I know we're not the same offense without Julio Jones. Let's not be stupid. Say, oh, we can get rid of Julio. We're gonna be no, hell we not. The fuck out of here. Hell no. That shit right there burns me the fuck up. To say we can get rid of Julio and this team can still go to the Super Bowl. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that's all nice, David. I mean, any team is going to have a distraction. I don't really see this as a distraction. Anytime a player outside of a quarterback doesn't get paid, there's going to be a holdout. Quarterbacks these days don't worry about it because they're going to get paid because they know for a fact that team and the organization is going to start with the quarterback first and foremost. Look at that sorry piece of crap in Jacksonville. He was the first one to get a deal was average at best. How the hell did he get a fucking extension on the deal? How in the blue hell did that piece of crap quarterback get an extension? What the fuck did he do to get an extension? That defense, that Jacksonville defense wouldn't be, that team would not be where without that defense. That offense was trash. Come on. This is crazy. It is absolutely insane. But yes, my brother's actually, I'm not sure if I'm be able to make it. That day, my brother's birthday, and he got something going on. So I'm gonna try. If I can, I will. But you know, I'll let you guys know what's up, man. But yeah, that shit right there, saying we can just move on without Julio. We just gonna replace Julio. We don't know. We have no fucking idea if Calvin really is gonna live up to the potential. I mean, we drafted Roddy White, and the first couple of years of the Atlanta Falcons, he was a bust. He worked his ass off. So nothing is guaranteed. Just because you drafted 26, drafted number 6, drafted number 1 doesn't guarantee that you're going to be a good player. These players have to these players have to develop. Right. Ryan Tannehill, sorry ass, make more than Julio Jones. Come on, man. These players are nowhere near as important as Julio Jones is, man. Ryan Tannehill is probably not important as Devontae Freeman. He's a sorry piece of crap. Oh, and by the way, I want to say this too. With those Miami Dolphins, fuck you and your entire organization. Fuck you and your entire organization. That is some straight bullshit. What they did. You're going to suspend players for just making a stance or taking a knee? What happened to free speech? Why these guys can't say what the fuck they want to say? You can do whatever you want to do. You can decide you can get rid of players, and why can't they just stick up for people that don't have a voice? So Miami Dolphins, your organization is a piece of shit for that. But yes, I definitely remember Ryan Tannehill. He was a wide receiver, converted to quarterback. Still thought he was overrated even then, but man, these coaches think they can turn anybody into a damn player. I mean, they thought you saw what's the guys? Josh McDaniels thought he can turn Tim Tebow into a damn superstar quarterback, and look what happened to him. He got his ass fired. So these coaches are just fucking stupid. It really is just stupid. Until they get this thing right. They're going to continue to get crushed until they get this thing right. You have Julio Jones, Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, Brandon Cooks. Mr. I can't get open, but I run a 4.3. Making $16 million. Sammy Watkins, Jarvis Landry, AJ Green. AJ Green should be at least number 2 on that list. Right. Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane, man. Julio is, look how far on down the list. I mean, where is he? He's nowhere. That's crazy. No, 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 no. I would have a huge problem with that. I would have a huge problem with that. I don't know what you was watching. Brandon Cooks was trash. He's always been trash. He's just a fast guy. That's all. What's good, people? What's good? Nah, we don't need that. We don't need them problems. Tevin Coleman's already at a pretty decent. Uh, I think he can do multiple things. He's already a physical player. I don't think he need to pick up any more weight to play fullback. I think he can play fullback. Um, we already use a lot of two back sets. So moving him to a fullback position, I mean, that'd be kind of. I mean, you can say fullback. You can say that he's a fullback because Falcons use a lot of two back sets. So it's not that he needs to put on any weight, but I think that's something that could happen. Yeah, yeah. Julio Jones is a nice. That's crazy. 8 players are making more money than Julio Jones. That is insane. Devontae Adams, exactly. That is insane. But that's one thing. Look, this is one thing that we have to stop doing. We have to stop looking at touchdowns to try to say what a player is worth. Because you look at Tevin Coleman, Devontae Freeman, those guys have been pretty much in double-digit touchdown numbers for the last 2-3 years, except for the last season. These guys have been in double-digit touchdown numbers. It's because these guys are doubling and triple teaming Julio in the red zone, so he doesn't have a lot of opportunity. So if you're gonna double Julio Jones, that's why those guys' touchdown numbers are so low, are so high. It's because of the Julio Jones factor. You have to account for Julio Jones, and if you don't account for Julio Jones, just hand the ball off to Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. Touchdown. That's 20 touchdowns apiece. At least 20 touchdowns apiece, just because you have a guy like Julio Jones on that commands a double team, even in the red zone. Actually, David. Actually, Matt Ryan did do that in his first contract. He took a team-friendly deal so the Falcons could resign Julio Jones in his first contract when he signed a $125 million, $126 million contract the first time. He did do that. So, Matt Ryan, he is notorious for doing stuff like that. So that's why I always had love for Matt Ryan. The guy's a team player all the way around. I'm not paying no damn Brandon Cooks $16 million. I don't give a fuck how fast he is. Okay. But if you are the Rams and all you have is Todd Gurley, maybe that's probably why you would do something like that. But Brandon Cooks, no, you good. That's the reason why the Patriots just like, no, you can go. So forget, Brandon Cooks is completely overrated. And that's what I said. Julio Jones definitely put us in positions where he definitely dictates certain formations. You can't bring your safety up You can't bring a safety up when you have Julio Jones. You can't be 8 in the box when you have Julio Jones on the side. That can't happen. You can't do that. You can't do that. And in the red zone, you still have to account for the guy. You still have to account for Julio. So touchdowns, I tell people all the time, you look at touchdowns all you want to. Look at the guy, the tight end who just signed with Green Bay. He's been a touchdown machine all his career. Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham always catching touchdown, but in between the numbers, he don't catch a lot of, he doesn't make a lot of impact. He's a touchdown scorer, and a guy like Aaron Rodgers would definitely benefit for him in touchdowns. But yeah, I gotta say, man, touchdowns don't tell the entire stories. I don't know. Irv, I don't understand that. I'm still trying to figure that out. Just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. This guy's been a model citizen on and off. And this guy works out with one of the most physically gifted players in the history of football, and Terrell Owens. Forget about his on the field, his antics and all that. Forget about it. Terrell Owens is one of the most physically gifted players that has ever been, played the game of football. He's an athlete. He's a special football player. This guy's special. Look at T.O.'s numbers. Why wouldn't you want a guy? Why would you not want Julio around a guy like that? This guy knows how to get open. He knows how to take care of his body. We want Julio Jones to be at the top of his game for as long as possible when he's with the Atlanta Falcons. Why wouldn't he want to hang out with a guy like T.O.? He's not influenced by Terrell Owens. He's a grown-ass man. So, like I said before, man, Julio Jones definitely... Julio Jones is definitely, man, he's not going. I don't really just see any scenario where the Falcons would trade Julio away. If you look at his salary cap, they would take a huge cap hit if they tried to trade a guy like Julio away. It's not like the NBA where teams take on that player's salary. You take a huge hit for releasing Julio. You take a hit for trading Julio. So Julio is not going any damn where. If they wanted to get rid of Julio, this was the year to get rid of Julio, because he's only making $10 million a year. And next year it jumps up to $18, $19 million. But that isn't guaranteed money. Next year and the year after, it gets increasingly hard to get rid of a guy like Julio. So if the Falcons want to get rid of Julio, or they were thinking about getting rid of Julio Jones, it would have happened this year. And they only have $5 million in cap space. T.O., like I said, I may not like the guy's antics on the field, but when you look at a guy as a player, specifically just player, forget about his attitude, forget about his antics. When you look at this guy, why would you not want Julio around a guy like T.O.? This guy 20 fucking catches in a game. He was one of the first players to ever do that. Jerry Rice didn't do that. T.O. did that. He broke some of Jerry Rice's records. Playing in the Super Bowl with a broken fucking leg. Coming back after a broken fucking... and he was the best player in that Super Bowl. So it's just crazy why T.O. gets so much hate. And like I said, I'm not making. He had some areas in his career where I was just like, especially that, the disrespectful thing that he did at Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I wanted to kick his ass for that. But that's just football and that's just sports in general. You got to have that one asshole on your team. Like Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was a complete asshole. You see what he did to Michael Jordan. So you have to have one of those guys. You have one right now with Golden State and Draymond Green. I mean, he's knocking, he's kicking people in the nuts and shit. So you got to have players like that. You have to have them dirty players in sports. So I get it. I have no problem with that. But that boy on the field, T.O., is a legend on the field. I want Julio to get, as much knowledge from him as possible. He's a Hall of Famer. I want Julio to be talking to Hall of Famers. To pick their brain, see what they did to, continue to be the greats. I want Julio to be doing stuff like that. So I love it, man. Yes, absolutely. Terrell Owens, Larry Fitzgerald, Julio Jones, Anquan Bolden. I want Julio around those guys. And T.O. learned, like you said, Irv, T.O. learned a lot from Jerry Rice. So why wouldn't you want a guy like Julio around Terrell Owens? The guys know he has a lot of knowledge. I don't give a damn about what he did off the field. I don't give a damn about his attitude. Can you help me improve my game? Can you help me be a more, get more longevity out of my body? T.O. You saw that guy. He ran a 4.4. I don't know if you guys saw his Instagram post. This guy ran a 4.4. He's 42 years old. Running a 4.4. Why the hell would you not want Julio running with the guy or working out with the guy like that? I want him. Shoot, I would hire him as a trainer. I would, in a heartbeat. T.O. knows what he's doing. So I love it, man. But I appreciate all you guys, man. My damn throat is sore. My throat is sore. I've been talking for over an hour and 30 damn minutes. And like I said, every time I do these damn things, I never expect to go over an hour. And sometimes I always seem to do it, man. Appreciate all the love. Tell everybody, man, come talk Falcon football with your boy. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all the love. Like I said, if you guys have a channel of your own, if you want to collaborate for the Falcons video, you can hit me, and I have the link, email, or hit me up in the comments, and I'll definitely get back to you. But appreciate it, man. Hector, Irv, King, David, Dark Days, all of you guys, Falcons Nation. All you guys, man, I appreciate it, man. For real, man. We don't have a lot of areas on YouTube or a lot of positive places where we can talk Falcons football. So I appreciate it, man. For real. I'm out, man. Peace.